Hello.
Hello. You alright?
Yeah, I'm pretty good actually.
You sound chipper. That's
well,
This is not like the James Farley I know. Maybe I called the wrong number.
I think it's because you called earlier in the day, so it's like it's pretty
is that
good.
it? But hold on, no, I've been with you in person.
Yeah.
Like not early in the day, and you know you've not sounded like this before.
I know, but usually you've worn me down by that point, so it's like it's a bit different. Whereas
Really, you're that easily worn down, are you?
Yeah, I mean,
today's better backbone.
Look, today's been a good day. Can you just let me have it?
He's already dropped. He's already dropped. He's already there. You all right?
Yeah.
Why has it been a good day?
Well, it's just been a good day. You know, we went out to we went out to the town.
Business. You went to the town. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care because I've seen Thor.
Yeah. I've seen Thor. I've also watched California Man as well.
Well, good. Did you genuinely watch it?
I watched half of it, and I'll explain why later.
Okay. I think that's written. That might be in my notes. Is all I'm saying. Right. Okay. So we ready to go through Thor?
Yes. Yeah. I'm excited about this because I finished watching this today as well, and
Do you like it?
I like half of it.
Okay.
Basically.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see how I got on with it, James. Here we go. It's time for Thor. We're both very excited. So of course, I watched this with my son, and I must admit, this wasn't his best watch. He was absolutely shattered last night. So I kind of feel for him. I don't think he wanted to watch it and everything, but he was very, very tired. So his opinion may have been
swayed by the
tiredness. Yeah.
But one good thing about this is he is Thor right from the beginning, and you don't have to. You know, it doesn't. You know, he's not going to become Thor. You know, or he does in a way, but you know.
Well, this is it.
Same way.
Okay. Yeah. Starting in a van in Mexico. Okay, didn't think this would. Oh, it's New Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, didn't think this would start there, but here we go. Wait, the driver of the van. Right, this is an interesting one. The younger female in that threesome of scientists. Was she in that one where they were caught in the TV show?
Yes, she was, yes.
Right, I thought I recognised her.
Yeah.
That's so weird, isn't it? I've seen the two films ages ago, and I saw like 3 episodes of that. What was it called?
WandaVision.
WandaVision. I saw like 3 episodes or 4 episodes of that, and I've already seen like references to things that I'd seen.
Yeah.
Like, it is nuts, isn't it?
But you can see, the interconnectivity is crazy, and also, I mean, just think the contracts they must have these people on as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's 28 films, but only 8 actors.
Yeah,
yeah. No, that was really interesting to see. But then, what's weird is that, like, in WandaVision, she shows up to that thing, and she's just like, "Yeah, I'm sort of just study things." Do you think she'd say, "Also, I know superheroes. I've met like one." Like,
so again, we can't talk about that yet because there's things to do. There's things to do with that. There's things to do with that.
Right. Okay. Fine. Was that a zombie they hit? Have I put the right movie on? That was a bit weird. Like, because it's Thor that they hit right at the start, and then it does a flashback. Yeah. But like, it didn't look like Thor. It just looked like a zombie. It was quite scary. It was like a little monster.
I know, and also because he didn't look big or anything either, did he? He just looked like just a body.
It was really bizarre. Okay. Blimey, well. This is some flashback. So it goes back to. I've written down 934 AD in Norway, but it was probably before that, right?
Yeah, that's when it goes far back, right?
Yeah. Right at the start. Yeah, right at the start. Yeah, it goes on to explain. So you have the voiceover, and it goes on to explain about the ice people. And they come down to Earth to where Norway was, right, and try and destroy it.
Yeah,
and then the Vikings go up to Asgard How did they go to Asgard again?
It's the Asgardians come to Earth.
That's right.
That's the whole thing.
The Asgardians come to Earth, and then they save the Vikings, do they?
Yeah, and that's where all the myth stuff comes from. Like that's why later on, there's that bit with the book when he's like,
I know the bit with the book boy. Yeah. Yeah, they drum that point home a little bit in this film, don't they? Hey, I remember this from my childhood.
They were trying to say, look, this is legit. Like, this is absolutely legit. This is how this works. They knew you were watching.
I am 100% fine with that stuff. I really don't mind. I mean, we've got Iron Man's like wacky enough as it is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of real because he makes it. Yeah, I know, but like, what the fuck? I mean, how can he fly and balance and that?
You feel this is less bad than the power thing keeping shrapnel out of his heart?
That was just a bit much. I think. Was this less bad? Yeah, I think the shrapnel thing was worse.
Okay,
is that weird?
Because it's a bit weird.
In my head, aliens coming down and taking humans away, that makes sense, right? Okay, fine. But inside a heart, there's slowly moving... we don't need to go over it again. We don't need to go over... We went over that a lot in Iron Man 1. Did we mention it in Iron Man 2?
We mentioned it in Iron Man 2.
I thought we had a jolly old time talking about Iron Man 2, but I can't... Maybe I've forgotten. Honestly, this is way more like what I thought these Marvel films would be like. Magic... Tons of superhumans fighting and that. Yeah. Old dude telling some story over the top of it all. Yeah, there was... I mean, we'll get to this. But tonally, this is like a wild shift from what I've seen so far. Like it's quite like mind-blowing how different this film is to everything else.
And I think that's probably partly because at the start, they were trying... sort of different types of directors and different directions with these films.
Really? You think it's that?
Yeah,
surely the source material is just wildly different, right?
Well, it's that, and it's also like this is Kenneth Branagh was doing this film, and he had the idea that he wanted it to be like Henry V, the Shakespeare story, like with Thor, and it's like that's why I think there's this more sort of like grandiose sort of like style to the whole thing.
I don't think he was. Did he only direct bits of it? Because there's some stuff in this that is definitely not Henry V.
No, absolutely not. But
no, I just think that this, like, how do you do that? Like, when the original backstories for the super, I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing, but I'm assuming when the original backstories were written for these characters, they weren't thinking about bringing them all together in the same sort of space, right? The same universe.
In terms of the Avengers.
Yeah, like I'm talking the comic books I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. Although the trouble is with the comic book stuff is that there isn't like one version of that because it's been rewritten. It's so like there's
different. I think because I've seen Into the Spider-Verse, right? And that was like, oh no, there are different Spider-Men from different right? It's all different.
Yeah.
But like essentially the backstory is all pretty similar. Right, gets bitten by a spider in New York. But I just think here, how the fuck do you do a really serious thing like Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk with this Viking in space? I don't know how you do that.
But that's what's difficult though, isn't it? Because this is essentially aliens. Like this is like essentially like an alien thing, like at the beginning, and it's kind of like we get it because it's through like the lens of like Norse mythology or whatever, but it's alien, like the whole thing, and it is a bit odd.
It is a bit strange. Right. Okay, so then I put Asgard. I think I've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
So he says at some point, I'm Thor, Lord of Asgard or some shit.
Yeah.
And that's like a catchphrase, right?
Yeah.
It must be, because I've definitely heard people saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The CGI of Asgard. What did you think?
Well, this was. I'll tell you a little fact here. This was also the first film, like Marvel film, that came out in 3D, and I think it was. Yeah, it wasn't great. I don't think throughout the film.
I think actually going back. I mean, I wrote this note here that I thought the CGI of Asgard looked fucking terrible, but I think towards the end of the film, actually, it looks pretty good. It was just those. It was mainly those sort of establishing shots, those wide shots of the world, and I just thought this just looks like like Toy Story. You know what I mean? Like, it just looked a bit cheated. Not that's over exaggerating the point, but yeah, it didn't look great in my opinion. It just looked a bit fake. There was this one shot at like the top of a really high hall with people walking down along the path, and I thought they haven't quite got the scale right with this, because although it's supposed to be this really tall hallway, it just looks insane. Like, it just looks stupid.
I don't want to get into this, because the trouble is like the whole thing with Asgard, I feel whenever I watch it, actually, I kind of feel like I don't understand how this society works. do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't go into the wider aspects of Asgard, does it? You don't know. Yeah. Like, it feels like, you know, when you go to visit a place on a stag do, and essentially all you do is get off the train and then stand around the train station, because, like, you're not really there to go and experience the place. You're just there to get hammered and say that you went to a different town or whatever.
Was that a pun, Dave?
But, oh, no, it wasn't. But that's quite good, isn't it? Well done, Dave. No, like you know, it's like you walk out and you stay by the train station. You don't know what the rest of the place is like because you never bother going anywhere. That's what it felt like Asgard was in this film. It was like everything was based around the train station, and there might be a wider world, but they didn't want to go into that. Don't worry about that.
With like the promotional shots outside of like what it looks like elsewhere. You know, like the posters they got up.
Every now and then you see a little glimpse. First time seeing Thor. Was he the blonde kid in the scene before? If he was, that was a weird, unexplained cut.
Yeah.
Didn't you think?
Yeah. Well, I think they were trying to show that he was kind of an arsehole when he was a kid
here's the thing, right? So you see Thor and Loki, right, at the start as kids, right? And I knowing the film now, that scene totally makes sense. But literally, it's just a cut to the dad and Thor walking along.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, well, I'm assuming that's Thor, but I don't really get it. And it wasn't until I saw Loki looking down at them that I thought, okay, that's the other kid. But it doesn't make it that clear, does it? Am I mad?
Not really. I mean, it's difficult for me to decide now because I didn't notice that at all. But then
no, because you know the story. First time I've
seen it. Yeah,
I'm wondering if he calls him Thor in that when he's a kid. And then because everyone knows what Thor looks like from the posters and shit, like you go, oh, that's Thor grown up. I'm
sure he called him my son or something like that.
Yeah, possibly. But at the time, I didn't even know who this guy was, like the dad. I thought Thor was just king. Anyway. Well, it's not important. Who cares? I just would have appreciated a little 20 years later thing come out. That would have done. Right. Okay. Oh. It is because they cut to the angry bloke who was clearly the other kid. Okay, I didn't quite get the names down at this point. The Mr. Frosty people have turned up. So this is when Thor is just about to be made king. And then the Mr. Frosty people turn up in the basement to nick the power source. Yeah. Or take it back. What are they doing? Are they nicking it or taking it back?
They're trying to take it back.
Yeah, because like
it's stolen.
Yeah, it's thieves. Thieves. Yeah. I feel sorry for them, if anything.
There's also more of that is explained in later films as well. Because
oh dear. Yeah. Oh yeah. They go into that, do they? The little blue box thing. Good.
Not that as in like actually. The Asgardians are a bit awful, actually.
Yeah,
like, someone's
walking about a place with their weapons. Okay, that big robot that shot fire from its face is the coolest thing I've seen in these films so far.
Really?
Yes, easily. Name a cooler thing that I would have seen so far.
I don't know. It was, I guess it was pretty good, wasn't it?
Like, it's fucking amazing. When it just builds up and then, it opens up and then just the fire comes out of its face.
It does.
Name a cooler thing from Iron Man 2, Iron Man, or The Incredible Hulk. You can't do, because that was, I loved that thing.
Yeah.
That was my boy. When I see it just come out, like those little Icemen come out and they're like, ooh, we've got it. And they turn around, that thing just comes out.
So also, that's the thing, it just wasted them like in seconds.
Oh, it's so cool. I thought the design of that thing looked cool. I was well happy that that's not the only time we saw it.
So were you rooting for it throughout the movie as well?
Yes, even when it was on Earth. We'll get there, but even when it was on Earth, I was just like, yes, I want a scene where a bad guy lights a cigarette off of that guy's face. That's what I wanted. Didn't get it, but still, what we got was pretty cool. Sorry, but Thor's totally got a point here. So this is when he was arguing with, help me, Odin.
Odin.
Odin. This is when he's arguing with Odin. Odin's like, just leave it, man, just leave it. And Thor's, no, they just come up here. He's like, yeah, just leave it, bruv. No, literally, they're finding their way into our little castle tube thing, our little organ castle or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Thor, just forget it. No, I don't want to forget it. Let's fuck them up. I was totally on Thor's side. I was like, really? Why is he saying yes? Why won't you?
Well, probably because I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, like, that's it. Know. Yeah, that's it. If you watch this for the first time again, mate.
But it's also, I know, but it's also just the way he says it all. It's like he's having a child's tantrum as well, though, which is not embarrassing.
To me, he was sitting there just going, are you seriously going to let them rock up in your house, try and steal your shit? You're just going to just ignore that now, are you?
Yeah, maybe if you've just seen it, it's like that. But then, obviously, when you know more things, it becomes more of a problem.
I don't know more things at this point, James, and I was behind Thor on this one. They broke in. They can't just sit back like nothing happened. That's what I put standard by that point. Harry just told me that he recognised Thor's voice. So, recognised the actor's voice. When I asked him where from, he said it was one of the people who sits near the Prime Minister. I told him that he just sounds a bit posh, mate. That's all it is. Genuinely, he said, I know that voice. He sits near the Prime Minister, because we've been watching a bit of Prime Minister's questions and stuff in the house. I went, no, he just speaks like this, like a posh part. He just doesn't talk like us, Harry. That's not everyone who sounds posh is in politics, but everyone who's in politics is posh. Oh, look, it's Idris Elba dressed as a Dark Souls enemy. He really is in a lot of things, isn't he?
He is in a lot of things, and also his part in this is rubbish, though. Like, it
is rubbish, but I liked him by the end, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like, the start of it was a bit shit, but when we'll get there. But when he just fucks off and then gets frozen, I liked him by that point.
But he's just when he's introduced, it just feels really wooden, like the whole thing, like what he's doing.
Totally, but that's the whole point, isn't it? That he's he is the gatekeeper or whatever.
Yeah,
a bit weird to have Idris Elba do that, but man, this film is nothing like the others we've seen. It's crazy, like a completely different genre. I mean, that's what we've spoken about already. So the Iceman suggests there might be a rat in Asgard, eh? That's setting up a twist. Turns out it wasn't really a twist.
No, not really.
I mean, I kind of guessed it straight away.
It's explained during that battle sequence as well, pretty much.
Is it?
Well, not explained, but it's like heavily, sort of implied during that sequence. Well, you know when they start the fight, like the fight starts off and they're all fighting each other, and then one of them that gets touched and it's like burns him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then one of them touches Loki and is just like, but it doesn't affect him at all.
No, his hand turned blue.
Yeah, exactly, because he is one of them. It's
Okay, but there is a scene later where I don't know if I've written it down, but there is a scene later where one of the Icemen touches Odin. And he wasn't affected by it.
Did he touch him? I don't think he touched him.
I think he touched him, mate.
I don't think he touched him.
I think he fucking touched him, mate.
I don't think he did.
Oh, okay. We've gone back and looked at things I've looked at on previous films, and I've been completely wrong. So there's every chance that I'm wrong about this one.
I've been trying to figure out how to fit in Ice to See You into this situation.
Ice to see you, ice. God, that's totally wrong. Okay. Right, okay, we've done that. They're really reaching for ideas for cool things Thor can do with that hammer, aren't they? And this is just the first fight scene. It must be hard to sit there and go, okay, this is a superhero. We want him to look cool at everything he does. Okay, cool. What's his weapon? It's a hammer. Shit, what do we do with that?
Yeah, but it's great. I love that hammer. Cool. I think it's brilliant, smashing stuff up. And
all he does is throw it, right? That bit was cool, but the bit that I'm talking about was when he was spinning it around and kicking up all the ice.
Yeah, that was a bit not so good.
Exactly.
He electrifies it sometimes as well, and that's pretty cool.
Did he do that in his film? Did he electrify it?
Yeah, he did at one point. Yeah.
Oh, right. Point that out when we get to it, because I don't remember that. So can Thor fly then?
He can,
I found that out later. He just flew through the dragon's mouth and out the back of his head. That was cool. That was cool. But yeah, no, I had no idea Thor could fly. That was a surprise. He just does it, and I was like, "All right, Thor can fly." Also, is there any way of making a superhero fly where it doesn't look a little bit shit?
Well, you see, I'm pretty certain he can only fly because of the hammer,
right? Yeah.
It's the hammer that is doing it.
Yeah, but there's a bit in it where he lifts up the hammer and then he just like goes up. Like that always makes me laugh. It never looks good. It looks genuinely. It looks like when Poochie goes into space. Like, it's just. I don't know.
It's better when they like flex their legs a bit.
Yeah, when they flex their legs and jump, and then they like little cloud behind them. Yeah, that's fine. But just holding up the hammer and then just like going up. It's stupid. But whatever. Right, okay. I'm worried that Harry will shout, "You're an old man and a fool" at me throughout the week. He's done it twice today, James. We watched this film last night and he shouted that at me twice today. You're an old man and a fool. No, of course not.
That's brilliant.
Instantly thought that was hilarious and used it against me. 7 years old, unbelievable. Oh shit, Thor being stripped of his power and cast out was fucking brutal.
I'll tell you what, that also, because I was looking up about this, that whole scene, you know, where they were going at each other like shouting, that was all improvised apparently as well. Like in the sense that they've been told, this is what you're aiming at.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but then it was all. Yeah, they were.
Well, what's really weird? Who plays Odin? It's Anthony Hopkins, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Anthony Hopkins. Yeah.
So I just watched The Father.
Yeah,
which is incredible, by the way, and what a performance by Anthony Hopkins in that. Like, and then to see him in this, it was like kind of a bit of a head fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Sir Anthony Hopkins. But yeah, he's all right. He was all right in this.
What are you doing? No, I thought he was brilliant in this, but like, it's just weird seeing him as a old man with dementia, and then him as the king of a secret Asgard
as a god, basically,
in the space of 3 days. Like it was a bit weird. No, I think he was great in this. In fact, actually, probably my favourite performance in this whole film.
My favourite line that he has is that one when he shouts, "You're not king," like that.
Yeah, there were some weird performances in this. I wasn't really on board with Loki.
Really?
Yeah. There's a few lines later on where it's just like, what? Like, he repeats himself a lot, and it was just a bit weird. But anyway. Right. Okay. So he gets banished, which I thought was like really brutal. That whole conversation, the way they stripped him of his powers, and then just gets booted down to Earth or wherever. Does he go down to Earth first? Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, he goes down to Earth. Yeah. And then Harry said he threw away his son, like sounding all sad. And I let him know that's always a possibility. So he needs to watch what he does. Yeah, it can happen. Yes. And I will do it that brutally as well.
Yeah. Just pull off his badges, off his thing.
His little badges. So take off your little badges, mate. The tasering of Thor gets the first big laugh of the room.
Yeah.
That was quite good.
It was, yeah.
But what I didn't know is that, I put, Thor in the hospital is very California, man. And, this is the start of it, right?
Can I ask you, right? When was the last time you saw California Man?
Oh, probably when I was like 15 or something.
Because it's not a very good film.
It's a terrible film.
It's a really bad film.
It's an awful film.
Because you mentioned it last time we talked, right?
Yes.
So I thought, okay, I need to watch this. Right. Because, I need to see where you're coming from. Because I remember seeing it, again, probably when I was about 13 or something, which was about nearly 30 years ago.
And loving it and wanting a California Man tattoo, right?
Yeah. And so I thought, I need to watch this again. So it's on Disney+. So this afternoon...
Is it really?
It's on Disney+, yeah.
Oh, wow. We're watching that next week instead of the Captain America thing.
I hope you get further than I did, because I sat there and watched it with the children and with Chen.
No, you didn't. It's really bad. Like, it's really... Also, I think it's quite... got some really dodgy stuff in there as well now.
Well, this is what's weird about it, because on the age rating thing on Disney+, it says it's suitable for 6 and over. So I was like, okay.
Doesn't he, go around trying to, he gets all randy about women and stuff?
That happened. Well, we'd already kind of stopped by that point because we watched it. I watched half the film, and it was like Chen was just like, "Can we stop watching this? This is the most boring film I've ever seen in my life."
It's a terrible film. But do you know why I referenced it and compared it? Because I got it from that vibe from the trailer. Do you know why I referenced it?
No, I don't really.
Because California Man, if like for those that listen to this that haven't heard it, it's about a caveman that they discover and then they bring him into the modern world, right? And they walk around the town with him and they're trying to stop him from doing caveman things, and it's all a bit funny because it's the modern world and he doesn't know what light bulbs are, and stuff like that, right? I really hated this side of this film where, for some reason, Thor gets to Earth and they make him thick. Like
they didn't really make him thick.
The bit where he's walking around the street and he's like shouting at the cars that are honking at him because he's walking in the road. That I'm pretty sure that's a scene in California Man.
Well, I don't think so because okay. There is a bit at the beginning of California Man when that kind of happens.
Yeah, we get scared of a car. Way. Well, he gets scared of a car.
But Thor wasn't scared of the car.
He wasn't scared of the car, but it was, what is that? He tries to, usher them away and shit. They didn't need to do that. Like, I thought a couple of moments would have been funny, but there's a lot of Thor, but being, I'm from outer space, I'm a god, and now I'm on Earth, and I know what's going on.
See, I liked all that. I thought that was funny.
It was
I enjoyed
terrible.
Okay.
I thought it was bad. I thought the first bit where he got tasered was funny. Here we go. Look, let me go through these, right? Tasering was quite funny. Okay, Thor in the hospital is very California Man, because what does he do? He's starts picking stuff up, and I don't know. He was being stupid in there. The weather people hitting Thor with a car for the second time was stupid, but
no, but that
also
was. Do you know?
Pretty funny.
The other bit from that with the taser thing was really funny. Did you notice that with that?
What?
So okay, so obviously he escapes from the hospital, and then you've got the crew saying, "Oh, we need to find him. Like we're gonna have to go across." Like she's like, "We need to find where he's gone," and then you see in the background, Darcy, who was the girl that you mentioned, who was in WandaVision as well. I didn't notice it the first time I saw it, but she gets a taser out of her bag and loads it.
Okay.
Which was quite a nice gag, I thought, considering what was going on from before, but it wasn't very obvious.
Yeah, no, I missed that. A little Stan Lee cameo. Are these always really crowbarred in?
Yeah, they really are. Yeah.
Should I just not get angry about it?
No, I really wouldn't. Also,
what do you think of them?
I don't know. I mean, they take you out of it a bit, don't they? Because it's you obviously you know who it is.
Hey, what's going on? So, okay, all right.
Do you know? In interviews, he really wanted to be Odin as well. He wanted to.
Man, don't make me I feel. Every time, look, I don't know much about Marvel, but every time I read stories about Stan Lee,
it's sad, isn't it?
It really breaks my heart. Genuinely, I'm not taking the piss. As I said, I've heard him being interviewed so many times on Stern and stuff, and it just really, really gets me in the heart. Oh, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I remember seeing this thing when he was saying about how he'd been allowed on the set of Iron Man and he'd got to meet Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
and you're just thinking, fucking hell, this is your creation.
Yeah, I know. It's awful, isn't it? It's terrible.
Yeah.
I can't believe you said that. That's rough. Could I be Odin? But then to be fair, you would go, this is Stan, cheers, mate, but Anthony Hopkins, mate. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Well, can I at least, go for an audition? Yeah, but Anthony Hopkins, Stanley.
So even if he had done it, he'd used the same accent, the same reactions, everything. It wouldn't have worked.
Right, okay. Is the brother the traitor? He is, right, blatantly.
Yeah.
Oh, he turned blue. What was that about? Oh, he's the frozen fella. Because this all happens in the space of about 5 seconds and I was just tapping away. Okay, so he's probably the traitor then. Wait, did Thor's dad just die because he got shouted at? No wonder the frozen people don't fear the old shit. What?
No, but he doesn't. It's because he's tired. It's basically...
It was funny though, and
that's why he needs to have the Odin sleep.
What do you mean the Odin sleep? Is that what they call it?
That's what it's called. It's called the Odin sleep, where he has to go and have a lay down for a while, and then he comes back and he's.
Wait, how often does this happen?
I don't know, but it does happen. He has to go and have a lie down.
Wait, hold on. I'll ask you one question, which is kind of a spoiler. In any of the films in the future, does he go for a nap? This again.
No,
right, okay, it's a shame. It's just the fact it was so weird. He what was it? Loki walks up to him and shouts at him, and then he goes, "Whoa!" just falls over. And it was like
he was tired.
Wait, was he dead? Yeah, but I didn't know that at the time. I thought it joked like Harry was like, "Is he dead?" I was like, "I think he just got shouted to death." Like I think he got shouted to death.
A go at him. You know, it's just...
right. Thor drinking in the cafe and smashing the mug is California Man. So there's another reference there. But that's what I'm talking about. It's the whole... It's so stupid.
What's wrong with that? It's just a bit of a laugh, you know.
Yeah, but they do it too often in this, I think.
They didn't. It's only happens a couple of times, like those sorts of references.
Now he's walking in the road while cars honk at him. I think this is literally a scene in California Man. Okay, right. I think there's some more California Man references later on. Joe is watching this one first time this is the first time she's watching one of these films with us. She likes Thor a little bit too much for my liking. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I said I had this moment. You know the bit where he walks into like the sort of warehouse bit with his top off?
Yes.
I said to Harry, I look like that when I haven't got my top on. He said, "What?" I said, "I look like that. You've never seen me without my top on. Like that's what I look like." And he went, "No, it's not." I said, "Yeah, it is. I look like that. I look like that." I said, Don't lie. No, it's not. You're too fat." I was like, "Yeah, okay." Cheers, Harry. Well, it teaches me for lying.
So I've been bulking up, recently. It's
right. Okay, this is the shittest observation I'll ever make watching any of these films, but I felt the need to write this down. So there's a shot in the street, and there is a sign made up of individual letters on the roof of a building that says Mexican food. So they're all individual letters on the top of the roof of the building that say Mexican food, which is the dumbest thing you will ever see. It's like, obviously it's a movie set, but if you stand on the other side of that building, that sign would read Nakizem Doof. Because you're just going to see the back of it. You're just going to, the letters are going to be the wrong way round, James.
Yeah, but that does happen in real life sometimes.
What?
What do you mean? I've seen buildings where they've got, you have letters like that, and you can only read it on one side.
They do that. That is fucking insane. Why would you pay for a sign that can only be read from one side?
I don't know. I'm not buying signage.
No, okay.
No, I know. This is your job and all that kind of thing. But
not signage, but honestly, if I'd have done that anyway, who cares? Avengers...
I'll tell you one thing though, because that entire town was built for the show.
Yeah, you could tell they didn't really give a shit about the realities of signage, James. I was pretty angry about it. Right. The Avengers dude turns up and nicks all their shit, including an iPod that was, in quotes, uploaded with 30 new songs recently, apparently. Right, a couple of things about that. Weird line, right? The other thing is that dates the movie quite a good way. It stole my iPod. I only just recently updated that with 30 new songs. What?
When was that? When did this come out? I've forgotten.
I don't know. You're supposed to be the expert, aren't you? Are you looking it up?
I'm just looking it up, yeah.
You're just sitting in silence for a bit.
And then I muted myself for a second, which was a mistake. 2011. So, was the iPod still wasn't a thing in 2011, was it?
It must have been. 10 years ago. No, the iPhone had been out for ages by then, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, okay. They had iPod. No, they had the iPod Touch and stuff like that. This is the point where the.
Wait, hold on. When was this set?
That's a good point. I don't know.
Right. Okay,
I thought the same sort of time, but
Nah,
sorry, I'll research that better next time.
It was a weird line though. Have Apple got into product placement with these films at any point?
No, I don't think so. They're not big into it.
It's just I uploaded my iPod with 30 new songs. Okay. Right. The switching between Earth and Asgard is keeping the pace of the film nice and bouncy. Thor's brother just sitting up in the throne and all that. Right. So that's the bit we're at in the film where Loki is on the throne now.
But you see, this is the point in the film that I felt it all started to become. I don't know. I felt the pace dropped off.
Yeah, it's funny. Really. After writing this, I think the next part of the film wasn't too great. Okay, Thor asking for a horse in a pet shop. Honestly, I'm not sure I'm digging these California Man scenes. They seem to have just made Thor a total idiot the moment he landed on Earth.
Couldn't even speak language.
Yeah,
he couldn't ask for a horse.
He couldn't even speak language. Yeah, I know he couldn't ask for a horse, but the concept of someone out of the, someone that's suddenly in a modern setting, but
that's not just California Man. Other films have done that as well.
That's the famous one, though, James.
I don't think it is.
I think it is, mate. Name another.
I can never do that off the top of my head.
James.
I can't do it off the top of my head. Okay, Back to the Future. They do that sort of thing all the time.
What?
What do you mean, what?
Back to the Future
too. He goes to the future, notices all the things that are different to the time that he was in.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone that's completely, trying to, not completely misunderstanding, Earth. He knows what Earth is, right? Thor knows what Earth is.
Well, yeah, but I don't think, but not in the sense of, he knows what modern life on Earth is.
No, he doesn't. But I just thought it was a bit.
You're being harsh.
Walking into a pet shop and going, "Oh, I require a horse." It was like, oh, fuck it.
It's just a gag line. That's the whole point.
Take Thor more seriously, please. Is what I'm asking. More like a rainbow bridge. Right. Okay. So this is right. I've put this in quotes. Yeah. Right. So Thor is in the car with his love interest, who I'm not on board with. Not the character. Just I didn't see why they were suddenly a love interest with each other. It was a weird one. But we'll talk about that towards the end. He says, where did you come from? Did you come in a spaceship or something? And he said, more like a rainbow bridge. And then she said, God, I hope you're not crazy. I'm sorry, but what the fuck is going to convince you that he's crazy after saying something like that? Why is she trusting him, James?
Well, because she wants to believe.
I know she does, because of the muscles, isn't it?
Well,
because he's got a lovely bod.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
But she also wants to believe because she wants to believe it's proving her research is true.
I think you're reaching there, aren't you?
No, because she talks about what's it called? I've forgotten the name of it now. I looked it up earlier and now I've forgotten what it is. It's the
research.
I've forgotten the name. Okay, I've just Googled it. This is what it's the Einstein-Rosen Bridge, which is what the Rainbow Bridge is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And that's a real concept.
Yeah, and that's a real concept. So chalk that up, Dave. Chalk it up, please.
And that's what she was doing research on, the idea of the Einstein-Rosen Bridge, which is a wormhole.
Okay, but he says
proves that it's true.
He says something. He says some worse shit later. So wait, hold on. The brother is called Loki. Is it Loki?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a big name in all this, isn't it? Has Loki got his own film?
He's got his own TV series later.
Oh, that's where I've heard it before. It must have been on Disney Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, right, I know Loki. Okay, all right. What's the TV show like? Any good?
It's really good, yeah. I mean, the character. I know at the moment you're not digging him massively.
I didn't mind him. I thought he was all right.
He's one of my favourite characters in the whole thing, and his character evolves significantly over these films.
Oh, really? So he's in a lot of them, is he?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right, and I felt quite bad at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we'll get to that. So the bit where he's going to break into that science thing around the crater, and then she goes, "Oh, what? You're just going to walk in there?" And he was like, "Yeah, but I'm going to fly out." Didn't she just? I wonder if she thinks he's crazy yet.
I think you're overthinking this.
She was just going along with that. She was just going along with that. Reaching, because he's got a lovely body, James. Yeah. He's got some hot pecs.
He really has, hasn't he? I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I would kill for a body like that. But, don't trust a man who says he can fly just because he's got a lovely set of abs. Reaching for a sniper, but choosing a bow and arrow. I'm assuming that's Hawkeye then.
Yes, that's Hawkeye.
Is this whole operation's Avengers based? If so,
no.
Surely they know that's Thor trying to get in. Hold on.
No, they don't know.
That whole thing is Avengers, right?
What do you mean? It's S.H.I.E.L.D. The whole thing is being. So have we talked about S.H.I.E.L.D. yet? We did, didn't we, from the first Iron Man film?
Don't think so.
Right, so S.H.I.E.L.D. is the organisation which is in charge of dealing with threats and everything that are from elsewhere, like from off Earth and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And also things on Earth that are like sort of superhero stuff like Iron Man. So Coulson is one of the members of S.H.I.E.L.D. and, Fury is one of the directors there as well.
Okay.
And so that's why they were there, because they obviously detected that the hammer has arrived.
Well, that makes a lot more sense. I mean, that's not explained, but it makes a lot more sense. Because I was kind of like, okay, so the Avengers are part of the government then.
No, this is pre-Avengers because the Avengers don't exist yet as a thing.
That's interesting.
But then, like Hawkeye that you see there, although he's not named as being what he is, but he is obviously one of the Avengers. But at that stage, he's not a member of the Avengers.
I know it's just done for the film, but there was part of me going, if you're Hawkeye, why did you reach for the sniper to start with? Come on. If your only thing is the bow and arrow, why have you even thought about picking up the sniper? Come on. Okay, I'm sure we'll find out more about Hawkeye, whatever. He can't pick it up. Oh yeah, this is where Thor tries to pick up the hammer, right?
Yeah.
Of course not. He had his powers taken away from him, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he had them taken away because he wasn't worthy, and at this point, he's still not worthy. So yeah.
I didn't think he was worthy by the end of the film, but we'll get there. I joked with Harry that this was the end of the film, that he couldn't pick up the hammer, and that was the end. He didn't find it funny. Oh no, he didn't do it, mate. All right, off to bed.
Do you want to watch the post-credit sequence?
Yeah. Why are these weather people saying that fiction regularly turns into reality as an argument in defence of Thor? Why are they saying that? That was weird. That didn't work for me.
Well, no, this.
Yeah, sometimes science fiction regularly becomes science fact. I was like, it doesn't.
No, that's that. Yeah, that doesn't really work.
No, it doesn't. All. And you're a scientist.
I'm not a scientist, but yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah.
I didn't say you were, but I know I'm overthinking this. All these bits and pieces are just funny things to talk about. It's not like making me dislike the film or anything.
Yeah.
And we'll cover what I really thought about the film when I get to the end of it. Coulson's a bit serious in this one, ain't he? I miss the Iron Man Coulson. Very, very different character in this film to what he was in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, he's a lot more serious, and sort of also, if you'd only seen this film, you would probably think, he's like
he's a bad
evil.
guy,
evil, like totally. Government person or something,
It was a strange change. What they did to that character in this one, but whatever. Right, Loki has turned up, and I'm assuming it's fake Loki. Am I assuming right that he was projecting his image across the galaxy?
That's one of his abilities. Is like projecting himself.
Yeah, because he does that right at the start of the film. So I knew he could do that, and then seeing him, in there, and then suddenly disappearing. So fake Loki is really rubbing things in right now, isn't he? Oh, hello, Dad's dead, and I and hated you to the very end. You can't pick up your hammer. I'm king, and Mum also hates you. Bye then.
and you can't come back either.
Well, that's it. It was like real, I mean, that's what brothers are like, I guess. Anything you can do to wind the other one up. Nice try, fake Loki. You ain't get that hammer. Yeah, that was a bit weird when he tried to pick up the hammer. Surely, I know he can project himself, but surely he can't just do what he wants.
No, that is a weird thing actually, because he sort of tries to pick it up, but then he's a projection, so I don't know how that works.
Isn't it just a hologram?
Yeah, I don't know about that actually. That is something I did wonder that as well when I saw it. Like, What is that? Is that is he actually there? Has he come down or something? That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. So then it's all confirmed that Loki was the one that let the Icemen's into the what's it called, Asgard or whatever.
Yeah.
Gatekeeper is pissed that Loki is now king. It's like when someone you hate in the office gets promoted and is now your manager. Mm-hmm. Listen, mate, I don't want our previous history getting in the way. I'm just you treat me cool, I'll treat you cool. Yeah, just make sure your works on my desk on time. And and if you want a day off, please get it signed off at least 1 week early. Fuck you. Drunk Dad is like James Farley on every TCGS Game of the Year show.
Really?
Yeah, where Thor and the dad they're drinking in that bar, and then he gets absolutely wasted. Like, for starters, he was drinking beer and he poured like some sort of shot into it, and then when he comes home, Thor's like completely sober and he drops the dad on the bed. I was like, that's James Farley on a Game of the Year show.
He's not okay. First of all, he's not the dad. You know that, right?
What? I thought he was a dad.
No, he's not a dad. He's a PhD supervisor.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He's like a professor.
But
that's the whole thing.
He's a bit like overprotective with her then, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He is a bit, yeah.
He's just a professor.
Yeah.
And he's going, now, don't you go along with that man. I don't trust him. Like,
yeah, no, he's a bit overprotective, obviously.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's
I
not
thought he was a dad.
No, it's not a dad.
That's mind-blowing. For a co-worker, he's very inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, they've got a close-knit relationship, haven't they? Obviously.
Even then, it's like, don't talk to me like that. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Don't you?
Well, she seems fine with it.
She does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Maybe that's because of the fact that it was written by a man, though, James.
That's very. Do you know what? That is very possible. That's what they thought. This is fine, and yeah.
He's way too involved in her life.
I now even more resent you saying that that's like me drunk, because I don't think it is.
I think I was big on with that one. Thor's mates decide to go and find him. Honestly, this film is dipping a fair bit here.
Yeah, as I said, it was this whole sequence. I felt from when he tries to get the hammer back and everything up to all of this. I thought the pace has gone off the cliff a bit here, and there's not actually really very much going on. And it's not very interesting.
I have a feeling that early on they were thinking we need to make these films like 2-hour epics.
Yeah.
They need to feel like they're more than just an hour and a half. They need we need to hit that 2-hour mark, and they didn't have enough.
Because actually, his friends going down there is completely pointless.
Yeah, totally irrelevant, isn't it?
They didn't need to be there.
No.
They could have just not bothered. Yeah.
Why are? Oh, this is it. There's scenes where Thor is adjusting to life on Earth, and there's a bit where they're cooking breakfast, and then he walks 5 yards with the plates and puts them on the table, and they all thank Thor. Yeah. And I just thought, he's done nothing.
He does that thing where he got like the what's it called?
Tea towel over his shoulder.
The tea towel put over his shoulder. Yeah, like he's just...
yeah. I was like, you've done nothing. Why are they thanking you? Thanks for this lovely egg. And like you see the woman that's cooking just going, the fuck am I doing this for? God, Thor, you cook an egg now. Go on, let's see how that goes. Oh, smashing the fucking egg on the floor or whatever, like California Man.
It's not like California Man. Oh, God.
Thor's friends turning up was like when my mates turned up at my house to see if I was allowed to come out. My dad looked at them and thought, what the fuck is this? When they showed up too. Yeah, it just reminded me of that. Also, Thor instantly snaps out of idiot mode when he sees them. Did you notice? Like, so instead of walking around going, what is this toothbrush? What am I supposed to do with this paste? You know, like instead of scenes like that, we had him
suddenly
going.
He's an expert.
Yeah, suddenly he's brilliant, and he's talking with like passion and authority and all that sort of stuff. Suddenly he's at least himself. So I like that bit. And then, of course, although the film was dipping, it shoots right back up because, oh my god, the big robot thing has shown up. Now we are talking. No wonder this is in quotes, no wonder he thought it was one of Stark's, said Harry.
Yeah. Is it one of Stark's things?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Harry said no wonder he thought it was one of Stark's. I don't know why he said that, but I've written that down. Thor gets his power back. I'm not sure why he's suddenly worthy, because he got battered.
Well, no, it's not just because of that. It's also because he tells everyone to leave and that he'll take the hit basically for it.
I get that, right? Okay.
So he's sacrificing himself.
I do get that.
He's like showing that he's bigger. You know,
I do get that, but it's pretty easy, wasn't it? Like I thought it was like it wasn't like he didn't have to do much to be worthy.
Well,
like
this was the problem though, wasn't it? Because the whole like end of the film. It's weird because you've got those long sections where not really that much happens.
Yeah.
And what does happen is kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And then all of this gets quite rushed. Like the end.
It does it? Yeah. It does a bit. Like, because I get the idea is that, I know he's sacrificing himself, he's, you know, even though... But it was like... It was made... The whole getting banished and your power stripped away was so important and felt so, like... I don't know, very... theatrical, and it had a lot of weight to it, and it felt really good. Like getting it back, he was just like, oh, leave this to me. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, okay, but that makes you worthy now, does it? I don't know about that, but who cares? Like, really, I care a little bit. You're right, they should have cut down some of the gumph, maybe taken out the odd California Man scene, and and explain why he was worthy of getting his thing back. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know? I hope that there's like an interview or something with Kenneth Branagh, like somewhere, where he's just like saying, "Well, you know, when California Man." I mean, this was a shot-for-shot remake of this, you know, like from California Man or something like that, you know? Brilliant.
When Thor is calling the gatekeeper to get back to Asgard, he says, "He doesn't hear us." I could have sworn that he was going to say, "He doesn't do anything." From that infamous champagne.
You imagine if he did that? It's like,
commercial.
He doesn't do anything.
Also, yeah, Awesome Wells commercial. That's what it sounded like when he said, "He doesn't hear us." I swear to God, he was going to go, "He doesn't do anything." I just had it in my head. I don't really believe the relationship between Thor and the weather scientist, to be honest. Felt a bit forced.
I'll tell you what, as watching this the second time around, I thought that Natalie Portman wasn't great in this film, and I thought she was on a par, not as bad, but on a par with Liv Tyler in...
No, nowhere near as bad as that.
It's not as bad as that, but she doesn't sink every scene.
No,
but
I don't think it's the acting that's the problem, because I think she was okay.
Yeah.
I think the script was poor in terms of their relationship. It didn't feel justified at all. Like, 1 minute, they were just like... Oh, they fancy each other now, do they? And then not only that, it then takes it to a point where he's like staring down, like he loves her so much, he's staring down from the heavens. And I was like, why?
I mean, there's some quite good development with that later,
good,
like in other films. But yeah, it's not very strong. All of that,
really
and also it builds into that whole sort of like fantasy thing as well, doesn't it? In a kind of not very great way, I think.
What do you mean?
Of like, you know, him being this like, like her just like fawning all over him and all that kind of thing. It just feels a bit.
She doesn't fawn over him that much. I mean, she
does at the end of the film.
My wife was fawning over him more than she was, like from our sofa.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that was very good. Right. Why did Loki invite the Icemen in? Then save Odin at the last moment.
We know why he did. Presumably now.
I can't remember. Did he do it because he does say something, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does it because he's trying to set himself up as a hero, like in Asgard. Like he's not interested in killing Odin. Actually, like he just wants to. He wants to be seen as the hero. As like somebody who's done something amazing. So that's why he did that.
I thought it was just a way of getting them in. He wanted to wipe them out. I thought he wanted to still be the king of Asgard, but he wanted to tempt the bad guys in so he could wipe them out so they're not a problem for him when he's king. I thought that was what he was going for.
That's probably... Well, yeah, I mean, obviously that's a side benefit, isn't it, of it? But yeah, I think he was trying to set himself up as being a hero and, like king, for everybody.
Okay. A king for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Thor and Loki fighting next to a glowing tree. Okay, I didn't have much to say about that bit. Okay, I feel like I fell for the fake Loki hanging from the bridge. It done me. Mm-hmm. I know we've seen him do that about 1 million times in this film, but it still got me. I was like, yeah, scorn Thor, like whack his little hands because his fingers were there and he was holding a hammer. Yeah. But it's soon sort of explained that even if that was real Loki there's no way Thor would have whacked him with his
he wouldn't have like trodden on his fingers or something like that.
Just putting that hammer on his chest, he should do that more. When he just puts it on his chest and walks away, he should just use that move more. Makes so much sense. So what's the deal with the hammer then? So is it just really heavy to everyone else, or is it just suspended?
It's really heavy because it's supposed to have been forged in a neutron star, which is like when a star caves in on itself.
Oh yeah.
What's left over is like heavy materials and everything, so it's supposed to be made from that.
Okay, fine. But why didn't it just crush him then?
That again is a good question because it really should have done.
Because it should have done. Okay, fine. Well, how's he put it on tables and stuff? Does he put it on tables?
Not really, no. In fact, I think there's a gag about that later.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking forward to that gag. Thor breaking Rainbow Road, something we've always wanted to do in Mario Kart at some point, right?
Yeah, I hate Rainbow Road. It's you're not one of those people that thinks it's good, right? Because
the one in Mario Kart 8 was good, the new one.
because I hate all of them.
Every other one was shockingly bad. Yeah, no, terrible.
It's just the sudden going downhill and then suddenly going off the sides.
Seeing him smash up that Rainbow Road was like, yes, go on, Thor. I know how you're feeling, mate.
Yeah.
Oh blimey, Loki just falling to his doom was quite surprising. Wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that. But unfortunately, that moment has been completely taken away from me with the scene later on.
Yeah, it's the post-credit scene, isn't it? It kind of,
Still, at least Thor has a character arc, something we've not seen in these films to this point.
You don't think so?
That's the end. No, who's had a character arc in these films?
I thought Tony Stark did.
Did he? What? Still womanising at the end of the... Oh, no, he wasn't, was he?
No, he wasn't.
He changed a little bit. He was still a bit of a twat, though, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, but he becomes more of a likeable twat.
He does, yeah. Thor here had a complete character arc, though. There was a reason, it made total sense. There was a reason why he was the way he was at the start, and the reason why, and we saw why he become what he did at the end.
Yeah.
I think the looking down at I didn't mention this. Shit. I'm surprised that maybe I missed some notes, but the gatekeeper, when he just walks off, was a brilliant bit for me. I really like that. Mm-hmm. You know, when it's the team, isn't it? The team are travelling down to help to find Thor, and he's like, I've sworn allegiance to the king or whatever. I can't let you do that.
Yeah,
and he's like, but then he just like fucks off. And I just thought that was really good. I like that. That's why I like the gatekeeper. Obviously, you weren't as impressed as with that bit.
Not particularly, no.
Right, so Harry gave it an 8.5 out of 10. So basically, he said the Iron Man films are the best, and then Thor was on par with the Incredible Hulk.
I wouldn't agree with that. It's better than the Incredible Hulk.
I would say it's better than the Incredible Hulk, but
not a lot better.
Not a lot better. Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of this one. This was a weird one. In some ways, a huge step forward from the other films, but the comedy moments didn't land at all, really. It was such a huge contrast to the rest of the film. Like, because you had a lot of very serious stuff.
Yeah.
And then you had, look at that.
It really is like a film of two parts, like in a massive way. And the second part is not anywhere near as good, I don't think, as the first.
Well, that's funny, because I've said something different. I've said not sure what to make of it, really. The last third or so was great, though. I thought that, the big battles within Asgard and all that stuff, I really enjoyed that stuff. It was that bit in the middle where Thor was wandering around Earth, like the California man, James. That's the bit that I didn't like, I think. It just got a bit silly for me.
Okay.
Whatever. Post-credit scene. Here's Nick Fury again. What the fuck? Loki is alive and controlling the old man.
Yes.
The old man he's controlling at the end is the bloke that I thought was the dad, right?
Yeah. It's Dr. Selvig. That's who he is.
Is he a big character? He's in...
Yes, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Has he become a bad guy? He's going to become a bad guy,
I'm not telling you anything, because it's...
The Selvig-nator. No, Mr. Selvig. I don't know.
Where are you going with this?
I don't know. I'm trying to guess his supervillain name.
Okay.
Selvig man. Weatherman. Inappropriate co-worker. It is I, inappropriate co-worker. So that's it. That was Thor. I was a little bit disappointed.
Okay. I mean, I kind of feel the same about the film, but maybe a little bit different in terms of I didn't have as much problem with the California Man stuff. Because especially now I've watched California Man again, and it's like it's a terrible film, and you realise I think it lands a lot better in Thor. Like I really do. Like a lot of this stuff.
I love the fact. I love the fact. Who'd have thought when we started this that at some point you would have to say that the comedy in Thor lands better than the California Man?
It does. It really does. Dave, you've got to go back and watch it.
No, I know it does. It's just the concept is the same. It's like, I'm not talking specifically about that film. I'm talking about films that do that.
You were talking about specific scenes and how they were the same.
How could I not? One of the scenes was practically the same. You went, oh yeah, there is a scene exactly the same as that at the start of the California Man.
It's still a bit different. You've got to watch it. You'll watch it again and you'll see what I mean.
I'll watch
see if you can get further than I did, because it was
I'll watch the whole fucking thing, mate.
It's only an hour and a half, and I still couldn't stand it. I fell asleep. Like, I was actually on the sofa and fell asleep while I was watching it.
You made your family watch it. Why did you do that, you nutcase?
I just thought, well, this is a fun family film, you know? It says 6. Not. It says 6 on Disney Plus. So
did you think that I liked it?
Yeah, I thought you were like, it was like you were into, like, it was like a beloved, like film that you watched a lot when you were a kid or something.
No, it is not. It's always been shit. Like, it's
but you just seem to be very aware of it and like knew more about it. I mean, I'd completely forgot it even existed.
I think what had happened is that when I saw the trailer for Thor, and I thought, this looks a bit like the California Man, I was reminded of the California Man, so that's all that's been in my head for the past week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Thor.
Have you watched the trailer for the next one yet?
I have.
What do you think?
I'm very confused.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Well, 2 things. The first thing, I think I'm going to stop watching the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the trailers.
Right.
They give away way too much.
Yeah, they do give away.
Especially this one. Have you seen the trailer recently?
No, I've not, no.
Right, okay, so here's what I know. Captain America is set in World War II. That was a surprise.
It is, yes.
Second thing, he was a weedy man that was trying to get into the army. That was a surprise. Third thing, I literally saw how he got changed into Captain America.
Yeah, that kind of ruins all that. Yeah,
yeah.
That's like, yeah, that's. I mean, that's the most. See, I really, really like the first half of Captain America. I think it's brilliant. I really think it's brilliant. Like what they do with it. But
we see the shield being made, James, in the trailer. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck are they doing all this for?
I think it's partly because it's like Captain America, I think out of all of these was the hardest sell, like in terms of a character, because it's a character which, like, there's a lot of problems with it, like in terms of
what do you mean?
Well, okay, there's problems with it in terms of like what he stands for.
Should we talk about it next week?
Yeah, I think we probably
this
should.
Is the Thor one. Are there any problems you got with Thor like that? What does he stand for?
Not particularly.
Asgard, isn't it?
Yeah. Although I still don't know how Asgard works. It doesn't make any sense. But
it didn't seem to be any trains or anything, did it?
No.
I was a little bit... So the trailers, I think I'm not going to watch them anymore because they give away way too much. What did I think of the trailer? I was very surprised. I'm a little bit confused because it's called The First Avenger. Yeah. But you said that this film, that there were no Avengers. Avengers didn't exist.
Yeah. They don't.
So how can... A film
Can I just explain to you why? Because it's really obvious. It's not a thing.
Go on.
So Captain America is set like in World War II.
Yeah.
Right. So it's set like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so he is the first superhero, basically.
Right.
And so he's called the First Avenger, even though he's not an Avenger at that point, because he's the first of them, actually, like chronologically.
So we don't see. But hold on. So when the Avengers happen, isn't like Captain America going to be like 90?
Wait and see. You'll have to wait and see what happens.
Does he go?
No, don't try and figure it out. Don't try and figure it out. Just wait until we see it.
He's got some like really good moisturizer.
It will all be explained by the end of Captain America.
All right, but he might be 90. Oh, he time travels. Is there time travel?
I'm not telling you.
He's time traveling.
This is like, this is like talking to Chen or talking to Asher about films. I can't stand it.
It's big part of the Avengers film, which is the one after Captain America. Him walking around like thinking it's the 1940s when actually it's the 2011 or whatever. Is that going to be? Is it going to be California Man too?
There are things. I don't want to get into this. Look, we've got to wait until because otherwise it's ridiculous. Like, I'm really can't preempt everything. This is the Thor one.
I'm so looking forward to the Avengers one. I must admit. Yeah. But I am actually looking forward to it because the stuff that's in that trailer looked really badass. So like I am kind of looking forward to Captain America. Mm-hmm. I had no idea Captain America was a little weedy guy that gets like put on steroids or whatever. I had no idea that was the case. So that looked really
great
cool.
Character. He's a really great character.
Yeah, I've got time for that. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's next week.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to rewatching it because it's a good one.
I'm also looking forward to watching The California Man.
Yeah, can you watch that before we record next?
Absolutely no. I'm not a fucking idiot.
Come on, it's only 90 minutes.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's wank. Catch you next week, James. I'll give you a bell next week.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.